Ayo, do you want to add anything to it? Because we'll now begin to wrap up, and I would like you to speak to, given where Benga's taking us to with COVID, I would like you to talk about the investment opportunities, because if we're looking at such data set for GDP in 2024, then 2022, pretty much most of us should start planning what we want to do ahead. But you can share a few thoughts on COVID and then just smoothly take us into investment opportunities for this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Fumi. I mean, like Binga rightly said, I mean, the entire world, we are forced to be in the recovery mode, because we've been in lockdown for, say, 2 years, and then we've seen the impact of COVID across different sectors, different industries around the world. Right now, like you said, scientists are beginning to understand the nature of this virus more, and because of that, government feel that there's a need for us to bounce back. So we are forced to reset and be in a recovery mode. Now, for me, I will look at this in two perspectives in terms of the investment to look out for. Now, one key area where we see recovery, one key sector is the aviation sector. I mean, they were badly hit during this pandemic because of the lockdown. People could not travel. A lot of big airline industries went down. They started asking bailout from government across North America. Although I don't think we heard anything like that from Nigeria. But I see the aviation sector bouncing back. I also see the hospitality industry also bouncing back. Now, I'm mentioning some of these big industries, which I don't know if any of us here has the muscle to invest in those type of industry. However, we can look at the value chain in these industries and see how we can maximize the little opportunities that we have. Now, we also notice, if you look at different government now across the world, we are also trying to improve infrastructure. I was surprised that in the US also, because for some reason, things are just getting destroyed. Just yesterday, they had one bridge in Pittsburgh that just collapsed. So government is trying to say, look, some of these our roads and infrastructures, we need to find a way to maintain them. We need to build new ones, because we are envisaging that when the economy recovers fully, there will be more activities. Now, I think what I would advise is that we should look at how to look at the value chain. You see, when there's infrastructure, a lot of things come to play. You know, people will work on site. How do I maximize that? You know, when there's a new road construction, there will be new settlements around that area. What can I do as a person to maximize those opportunities? Now, the other perspective is to say that during this pandemic, during COVID issues, some businesses did not suffer so much. And those are the businesses that we can call the essential services. Like the people in food business, people must eat, people in logistics, pharmaceutical companies, they were doing well. So for me, I'm beginning to think that I need to find a way to play in those sectors. Maybe I should start investing in pharmaceutical companies if I want to invest in shares. I mean, Pfizer, Moderna, and the likes. You can imagine how their revenue is. I mean, I don't know. I've not seen their financials, but I would imagine that they are making so much money. So then in the food business, you should begin to think of how do I put myself in that value chain. I keep repeating the word value chain, because you don't necessarily have to be the one cooking the food. You can be doing delivery, right? Then Benga mentioned manufacturing. which I also think we need to start looking at as a nation, Nigeria. You know, in other parts of the world, just in 1 minute, in other parts of the world, during winter, they don't farm at all because there is snow everywhere. Meanwhile, they have enough food in store, which they which they have preserved during their farming season that will feed them during winter for about 4 or 5 months. What does that tell us? They have good storage system. Anyone who wants to go into agriculture should begin to think like that now, that we have so much food in production and a lot of them go into waste because we don't have good storage system. So I would imagine that we should begin to think through how do we preserve some of our perishable food. How do we invest in those kind of environments? And I think with that, we would all maximize our economic capacity. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ayo. That was a good one. Big idea you also like to share as we wrap up?
Yeah, was a glitch there. I'm not sure. So I'm sure you were sort of calling my name.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Okay, so
do you have any thoughts you also want to just share?
yes. In terms of investment opportunities, um, one could take a local look in terms of Nigeria where things are, and then globally. Globally, of course, which were the firms that sort of benefited from that? Uh, they are always the sort of the tech firms, it seemed like investment sort of do well now when they are in the tech because they don't quite suffer too much. You can, for example, people were able to work from home when everything went down south. So in terms of manufacturing, it didn't do so well during because of the downturn we saw that came from COVID-19. But tech sort of did very well. So as Ayo said, that's something people should probably be looking at, but also is something in energy. So whether you're in the office or you're at home, you are going to use energy. So that's something as well people should be looking at. But then I realized that that may be different, or rather the firms you may be looking at will be different depending on if we are speaking globally or locally. But these are some of the two sectors I would be watching post-COVID in terms of investment.
Okay, so fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Energy is, you're actually very right with energy. And it's also becoming more attractive for investors, especially when you look at alternative energy, clean energy. There's a global push around that. And for places in a country like Nigeria, where you have a lot of open space and you have access to sunlight. So also think of things like solar system. And I know the average person will say, oh, that's going to cost a lot of money. If we listen carefully to some of the things I also shared around ability to raise capital, attract foreign investment, what's happening now is you have a good idea. You have the energy and time and perseverance and patience to commit to put that idea together in a form that another human being, another person can understand and see value, then you pretty much be able to, over time, generate the necessary capital. So I know entrepreneurship is a different beast on its own. It's different from pursuing a path where you invest in capital markets or where you invest in money markets. Entrepreneurship is a lifelong journey, really. 5 years, you could still be at it. 10 years, you could still be at it. But 15 years, if you're there and you're getting it right, then you're definitely on the right path. So entrepreneurship is a big deal, and it doesn't have to be at a large scale. It could be at the small scale. So like Ayo, you were talking about value, just looking for where to play along the value chain system. It's very true. So I can just decide that, okay, I might not be able to afford, if I want to do energy, I might not be able to afford the initial outlay, but maybe I can go for a technical training that is subsidized by the government. And all of a sudden, I know how to assemble the batteries, the inverter, just the coupling alone. I know how to do that. That can become my own line of business. I can then set up a business where my job is to couple the products coming from a certain manufacturer or coming from a large importer in the country. So there are lots of ways around this, but I think we've had a fantastic 1 hour session with you, Aya and Benga, and I'm so excited you guys were able to join the call despite your busy schedule. I'm sure that if we have any other questions, even if it's after this session, Ecofina will send it across to you, and then we can always give response to anyone that might have sent it in. So I think it was a beautiful one. What do you guys think? Aya, what do you think?
Well, I've enjoyed myself. It's been educative. I've enjoyed the issues raised by Benga. I mean, it's been fun. Thank you for me.
Thank you so much. Benga, how was it for you? I think it was good.
Yeah, thank you for having me on this. I totally enjoyed myself, learned a lot of things. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for everyone viewing, and for those who joined the Zoom call, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's have a wonderful day wherever you are. We also have the YouTube replay, so anyone can also can access that to take a look at. I think it's been a wonderful session, and I look forward to another session next month. Wishing everyone a beautiful day. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.